And welcome back to B&E Productions. I'm Ethan, and here we are with another Airsoft review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the CYMA AK47S. This is one of their sport editions, meaning that instead of like metal receiver and real wood, this is going to have a polymer receiver and fake wood. So that brings the price down, but still allows for a functional and pretty usable gun. So whether you're a beginner or a collector and you just wanted like an underfolder AK like myself, but you don't want to spend $400 on one, this is a pretty good option. Really, I bought this gun as a backup AK to use in my short films. So that's the reason why I purchased this. I wanted something that was on the cheaper end, but still was functional, usable. Looked pretty good. I more so intended this to be like a background gun, not so much like right in the front of the camera. So I think for that purpose, it works pretty well. For an airsoft gun though, because I still play a good amount of airsoft. I haven't played in quite a while, but I still enjoy it. Having a good backup AK, whether I can give to my friends or if I just wanted to have a fun game, I can just bring this out if I felt like using a underfolder AK here. So we're going to start off with the front.
But before we do, a quick ad. Go check out ChipIt, a one-tap networking solution that allows you to share your social media with ease. You can use discount code Ethan for 10% off your order, and the link is in the description below.
At the front of the gun here, we have a orange tip. I covered it with black electrical tape. It's only this little section right here, which is fantastic. I hate when guns have like the whole front sight post and everything orange. So good job there, CYMA, or CYMA, however people pronounce things all sorts of different kinds of ways. I'm gonna say CYMA. From there we have actual metal piece to this gun, which is going to be the outer barrel here. It is metal, so if that's important to you, that is one of the parts that is reinforced there. We do have that cleaning rod down here, which like kind of works, kind of doesn't. Here we go. So like it's fake. If you really wanted to try to use this, I mean, it's not going to work very well. Just there for looks. But if looks are important to you, just how looks are important to every airsofter, then that probably works out for you. So with that, we're going to move further down into the gun. Mainly this is polymer here. Still pretty strong, still looks pretty good. As you can tell, you can kind of see like how the barrel is a deeper black and this is kind of more of a gray. That's how you're going to be able to tell kind of what's metal and what's not. So we move into our handguard here. This is fake wood. It does have a little bit of like, not mush to it, but like you can definitely, like when you grab onto it, you can feel it kind of like move in a little bit. But it's not like creaky or wobbly or anything, which I can appreciate. For an airsoft AK, it's pretty comfortable. I like the feel of it. Again, it is fake wood, so that keeps the weight of the gun and the price of the gun down. We move back here. All of this is polymer. This may be metal. I'm not sure. The actual sights may be metal. I'm not exactly sure on that though. But nonetheless, I mean, they're your standard AK sights. They work pretty well. Can't complain. They're usable. You are going to be stuck with these sights unless you either change the handguard out, because there is no rail on the receiver for you to attach a optic rail. So just keep that in mind. Again, this is built with price in mind, and adding those things probably would have driven the price up. So just so you're aware there. So again, the polymer receiver here, nothing too crazy. It's pretty nice. You have your Russian markings for full auto and semi-auto. We have our selector switch. Works pretty well. It's easily movable, but it's not like it's just going to slip out of place. Very nice, positive. I do find though that when I go ahead and try to move the selector, I go instantly into semi. Like there's not as much of a break to go into full. We have our charging handle. And behind our charging handle, we have our hop-up adjustment, which is the bar style where you either move it forward or backwards to turn your hop up or down. So pretty easy there. I mean, it's not my preferred style, but you know, what else are you gonna do? So magazines, this is an aftermarket magazine from Matrix. The magazines it comes with are those high cap 400 round magazines. Again, if you've watched my channel for a while, I'm not a big fan of high caps. I find mid caps are just the easiest, just to plug and play. For the mid cap though, it does open up in the back here, and then you'll be able to pour in your BBs with the wheel at the bottom. I have it somewhere. I've got a ton of mags, so yeah, I don't know where it's at, but no complaints there. But yeah, I use aftermarket mags. This is a Matrix mid cap. I use a lot of the blue box AK mags. Again, these work pretty fantastic. I just started using these, but I really enjoy them so far. And then this LCT AK12 mag also fits in here pretty nicely. These fit and feed pretty well, so no complaints there. Comes to our magazine release. Magazine release is nice and solid. I really enjoy it. Trigger is, I mean, it's an AEG trigger. They're pretty good. Yeah, not much to comment on the trigger. One thing I do want to note as we're at this point here is our battery space. So your battery, since this is an underfolder, is going to live under the receiver cover. So, you know, we'll take the cover off. And from there, we have this nice little small space to put a battery. So I use the Matrix 7.4 volt 25C 1100 milliamp battery. It fits just fine in here. You may just have to play with it just a little bit, so that way you can figure out, hey, how is this gonna fit the best? But yeah, I'll just go ahead, plug it in, throw the battery in there. And there's a couple different ways to put the cover on. You are definitely gonna have to play around with it. It's something that kind of takes a little bit of practice, but once you get it, pretty easy nonetheless. And just like that, we have it on. You do want to make sure that it catches underneath this lip here, and then the spacing in the back here. You don't want it over, because plenty of times I've thought I got it secured. I'll go and move my gun, and then it falls off. And then I'm not sure if this is metal or not. It sounds like it is, especially when you drop it on the ground. So, just so you're aware. Now we move into our folding stock. Kind of the whole purpose of the gun, you know, you want a folding stock gun. There's a good bit of play here. It's got a pretty good amount of wobble to it. So sometimes I'll find myself trying to shoulder the gun or bring it up, and then I'll like have this happen. So, I mean, there may be some way to tighten it. I'm not exactly sure, but that is something to be aware of. Is it that big of a deal? On an airsoft gun with little recoil, not really. But for somebody who's wanting something like rock solid, could be a bit of an issue. But for the most part, I love to run this gun with the stock folded. So you do have a nice little button here on the left-hand side of the gun. We also have a sling mount point at that point. And then I forgot to mention, but up here at the front, we also have another sling mount point. So I just have this cheap nylon sling that I don't even know where I got it from, but I had it. So went ahead and threw that on. But you'll just press this button in. The shoulder piece of the stock folds in. Then you'll go ahead and just be able to click it into place. And now you have a very compact, easy to run with AK. And if I'm going to be honest, I really enjoy just running this underfolded. And you're able just to spray. You can bring it up if you want some more accurate shots. You can manipulate the safety with the stock folded, which is nice. You can do your reloads with the stock folded. So they kind of thought ahead and was like, hey, let's make this gun as usable as possible with the stock folded. So got a lot of nice options there. And say you wanted to bring your stock down, you can, even with the magazine in. You can fold it with the magazine in as well. So it's pretty usable, pretty handy there. We also have our wood grip. I forgot to mention that earlier, but it's pretty nice. It's smooth. It's fake. It feels pretty good though for being a fake plastic grip. No complaints there. It's comfortable. Let's talk about the performance. I'll go ahead and throw the chrono numbers up now. 323, 327, 324, 323, 321, 323, 326, 321. So coming back from the chrono, we had some pretty decent numbers. I mean, this is more of a budget gun. Respectable rate of fire, some good numbers that you're able to use indoors or outdoors. So say you wanted an AK underfolder, really basic, really cheap, and you're like, hey, today I feel like going out to an outdoor field, and you know, it's perfect for that. You got decent barrel length, get some nice range out there, decent FPS. You're not going to be making people mad, but you're still be able to hit your target. And then if, say you wanted to bring it in close quarters, that's all, this is the only gun you had, or you just felt like rocking an AK that day, you could just fold the stock in and still have a great time indoors with it. And you're not going to be right on the edge of that FPS limit. For what it's cost to buy, right now I'm looking at it online and it's $128. I think I paid a little bit less getting it on sale. For that price point, I think it's a pretty darn good gun. I've had this for maybe a year or so, maybe a little bit less, but so far I've really enjoyed it. I haven't really fielded it at an actual field. I've done some backyard stuff with some friends, you know, nothing too crazy, but it's fun. It's a good gun to just be able to pass to one of your friends who may need a different gun to use. For props, I really enjoyed using it. It's light, so for those dudes having to carry it all day, or you know, during our filming sessions, they're not all super tired or worn out or anything. And it's a nice, decent budget AK. That's all I can really say about it. For reliability, I mean, every time I put a battery into it, it worked. So it's pretty good there. This is one gun that I would be a little hesitant to be really rough with. Like, say you're going to a lot of Milsim games and like you're going in and out of vehicles, your gun may be like slapping the side of buildings, or you drop it or whatever. This may be one gun that I would be worried about, since it is mainly polymer. Like I said, the metal consists of mainly the barrel, and then there's a couple other things on here that are metal, but for the most part it is polymer. So just so you have that in mind. But if you have any other questions about this or any of the other products I've reviewed, or you have any other questions airsoft wise or video game wise, if you haven't seen any of that content on our channel, go ahead and check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a great rest of your day.